Welcome back to the show. As always, I am joined by my brother and co-host Danny. How you doing?
What's up, man?
Doing good. And tonight it is actually just us. We wanted to do a year-end review for 2020 and just kind of talk about some of our goals for 2021 and just give you guys an update on the business.
More or less. This isn't going to be a cliche. Hey, it's 2021. Here
what
we
are
are
your goals? I want to
because we all have
work
goals,
out
I'm
more.
sure.
Yeah, I want to work out more and just grow.
Just be better.
Yeah, I just want to be a better person.
No, none of that. None of that generic stuff.
Not going to be that way. And we didn't even do. I don't really even like New Year's resolutions.
No, we
honest.
haven't sat down and actually gone over anything yet.
No, because it's like, the idea of a New Year's resolution is the idea of I'll start it on Monday, and I would just rather if I feel like there's a change to be made, I would just rather do it now. Just start now.
Yeah.
And just get after it and just get going on it rather
now,
than
I'll
waiting
admit,
until New Year's.
We haven't been to the gym in right at a month now because of all this.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a little bit more than a month. But a lot of that is still it's still something that you know what you have to do, and you're not going to wait until tomorrow to do it. We haven't been waiting until, January 1st to start going back to the gym. Right now, we have other goals in mind that we're pushing forward before we initiate that sequence in our life again.
Yeah, we had talked about going
that a higher priority.
Exactly. We had talked about going at the beginning of the new year, and then I just thought, with everybody else that's going to be there,
we're already working all day today. There's no way I'd want to go to the gym after today.
I finished work yesterday at 10:30 in the evening, so it's like, okay, well, there's just a lot of other things going on. I would way rather just ride out the wave of people who are going to be there for the next 2 weeks and then never again. And we can start going down the road.
I was going to say, my point is really it's not about waiting until tomorrow and then you'll just start and work out forever. That's not the point. You work out till it meets your needs. If it's not meeting your needs, there's other things that are higher on the priority list. Make sure you categorize it and work appropriately, whether that's working out
what's
or
the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. So
and
it's not about coming up with something new that would improve your life. It's about constantly trying to improve your life.
Yeah, making those little. Well, we had a conversation the other day with a realtor who I greatly respect. He's down in Orlando. He's actually a relative of JoJo's, and he was talking about you're constantly correcting, always making little changes. If you're flying or driving or whatever you're doing, you don't just set it and forget it. You're holding the wheel and you're turning. You're making little adjustments all the time. And I think a lot of times, definitely me personally, I want to read a book that tells me, how to do this, and then I get frustrated when I don't have those successful habits or know a lot about the topic.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just a process, you have to
it
accept
that.
Is.
Well, and he talked about that too. JoJo's brother, my wife's brother, Joseph, he's a broker down in Orlando, like Mike said, and he owns his own brokerage, Care Network Realty.
Which they're doing pretty awesome things. I really enjoy hearing about his business.
Phenomenal. Go look him up on Instagram, Care Network Realty. Anyway, so he has his team meetings every Monday. At the start of every week, before they start their grind every week, they go over all their goals individually as a team and say, hey, what are your weekly goals? And then what are your goals for this month? And then they have an annual meeting every year. It says, hey, where are we at? Are we meeting our goals? What do we need to improve? And it's just a constant strive for bettering their team and in doing so themselves.
Yeah. Well, and it's not leaving it up to you as the individual. Everybody knows you need to set goals, but it's really, if we're being honest, it's hard to set goals and maintain and stay on the track of where you need to go.
But that's why it's got to be a habit and not a yearly thing.
Correct. Yeah. And having that accountability weekly. I mean, that's 2 times a week. He said every Monday they do for the week, and then Friday they evaluate how did the week go.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's like 2 times a week. That's constant evaluation and constant course correcting. And I loved how he did that. And that's something that we are going to start doing is keeping each other accountable on the goals and the company goals, what needs to get done from here on out. And it just requires that constant course correction.
Yes,
so
it does.
That's something we're in the process of setting our 2021 goals. Which in the future I would like to have those done much earlier. I truly would. But
we just got started 3 months ago. You and me.
Well, that's true. That's exactly right. There's been a lot of, again, and it sounds like excuses. It really does. So I don't want to belabor that point, but there's been a lot going on.
Yes, there has.
So from here on out, we're getting back into the earlier morning schedule, and the gym is kind of put on hold right now because there's other opportunities that we're working on that take our time.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, lots going on.
Exactly.
Keep an eye on us this year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Watch out. Y'all better watch out.
Y'all better watch out.
So having said that, right now we have 3 deals under contract, 2 closings supposed to happen this week. At the time of recording, we're going to have one of them closing tomorrow, and the other one's going to be closing on Friday. So we're recording this on Wednesday, the 6th. We have a closing the 7th and the 8th.
Our goal is 50 years. 50 years.
50 years.
50 years in the business. 50 deals this year. That's our goal. We'll
50
see how that
transactions,
goes.
50 closings in 2021.
50 closings, that's right.
So that's,
keep us accountable.
That's a stretch goal for us. That's about double the business we did in 2020.
Not saying it's like a huge goal, but it's a big goal for us.
Yeah.
Like you said.
No, it's a big goal for us. That's exactly. For the 3rd year in the business, you're darn right it is.
3rd year in your business, yeah.
Yeah.
3 months in my business.
Well, yeah, don't talk like that anymore.
My business.
We've been in business for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
I've been your brother for
ever.
Yeah. Brothers forever, business partners for 3 years.
Don't ever say that. All right.
I'm just going to get that on a bracelet. Brothers forever.
You have like best friend bracelets. Brothers forever, business partners for
3 years.
3 years.
And then
3 months.
Every Christmas we give each other 4 years, 5 years.
No. Can we cut that out actually?
Yeah.
I don't like that. So having said that, 50 transactions in 2021 is our goal, and we're going to be sitting down this evening and actually every other night this week, probably at least a little bit, and coming up with the exact strategies that we need to follow to get that done. And I'm excited. I really am excited. I feel like between the two of us, we have more than the power and the ability now to double the business.
Well, and redirecting too, I hope everybody that's listening is excited about 2021 too, and just has a great profitable year. And we hope that you've benefited so far from listening to our episodes, and for the next year of our production, we hope that you find more benefit and continue to find ways to improve yourself and grow your own personal business and entrepreneurship, whatever you're into.
Yeah, we have no plans to slow down the production.
Well,
we're going to continue with 2 a week, and
the only time we made the exception was for Christmas. But now we're back on 2 a week.
So. Yep, had mom and dad in town for Christmas and just took some much needed time off. But we're excited to be back on it now. So, and it's been really fun doing the podcast and meeting a lot of interesting people.
It has.
A lot of people that most of them I knew before, and some of them have been introduced to us since we started the podcast, or some of them have been reconnected with. And it's just nice to know that we have a connection with those people, and I can call them on the phone and ask them how they're doing, and it's just exciting. It's a joy. So
well, and beyond that too, if you're listening, go back and listen to those podcasts. Connect with any of those people. They're all reachable. They might seem like big players in Pensacola, and they kind of are. They are. A lot of them are. But at the same time, they're always going to be willing to do business with you, interact with you.
That's why
go hit up their social media. Go watch.
That's why we link up to their social media.
That's right.
In the episodes.
That's the sole purpose, and that's the big reason that we do this podcast.
Exactly. I was going to
give them exposure.
That's why
give you exposure to them.
That's why I like to have just local people on, because they're just people that you could see at Walmart. And they're people who are accomplishing their goals and working hard, and those are the kind of people that hopefully people who listen to this episode or listen to this podcast will want to connect with. So that's we're trying to have like kind of a medium for networking in a way where you can identify people who are like-minded. So it's
now,
been fun.
Yeah, it has
been. The show
fun.
has been enjoyable.
So moving on from that, what advice could you give to anybody listening that's looking to get involved in real estate from your perspective? You've asked that question from several people that we've had on the podcast so far. Taylor Webb comes to mind, Derek Bignell, Travis Talley, a few others. But I am going to ask that question of you because I want to hear your answer for that.
Advice for newbies. That's interesting, actually. It's you kind of springing this on me, but I have the answer locked and loaded because I get asked this mostly by friends, especially in college.
Well, but again, that's on a personal level. So
fair enough. I'll tell you exactly what I tell them though.
Awesome.
First of all is, you just got to get started, because everybody wants to be in real estate. I mean, everybody will tell you, well, yeah, I almost got my license once upon a time, or different things like that. Everybody either knows someone or wanted to at one point.
Yep.
Which
I've known
fine.
a few people that have had their license. And
and haven't done anything.
I was a real estate agent too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
No, you weren't. You just had your license.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the thing. So get started. Just get your license. And then once you get your license, honestly, for me, I truly feel like things took off for me when I stopped. I was working. When I first got licensed, I was interning at the county commissioner's office in the mornings. I'd get there typically around 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, and I'd stay until 3-4 in the afternoon. And I would wear a suit to that so I could go straight from there to Men's Warehouse and work from 5 to 9. And then I was doing that for a little while, and then my manager at Men's Warehouse was like, you know what? Enough. You don't need to be doing this anymore. She basically told me, you're capable of more. And she told me, she took me off the payroll.
Don't you love people like that?
At the time, I was like, this is not your decision to make.
I was going to say, it's hard hearing that sometimes, because you're depending on that routine and that comfort zone.
Steady income,
I mean, more or less the zone that you're comfortable in. And then to have someone that's higher up
just
in that,
kick you out of the nest.
That's the great or the perfect analogy for that.
Yeah.
So just go do what you're better at.
Exactly. But I felt like, excuse me. I felt like when she kicked me out of the nest, I was able to still do real estate at the commissioner's office. But as I started getting busier and busier, I was there less and less and less.
Yeah.
Until they finally were like, hey, we need someone who's actually going to be in the office, and you're never here.
Yeah.
So they basically let me go.
Yeah.
And we'll get Jonathan Owens on the show as well. He was the legislative aide for Doug Underhill, who I interned for. And that was a really fun time. I spent a lot of time with Jonathan Owens and got to know Pensacola on a deeper level than I had previously, which was really, really nice. But having said that, when I started finally getting committed to making calls every day and going on appointments and things like that, and I stopped doing all these other things, I feel like that's when my business truly took off and became sustainable.
Yeah,
that's when it started.
Right in, like you said, and you focused 100%.
Exactly. So I feel like whenever you start, it's easy to try and maintain these other things, so you have that fallback, that safety net.
Yeah,
and it's hard, but high risk, high reward. You know, the people who risk the most are the people who accomplish the most. And we have been blessed. I have been blessed for the last 2 years with the things that God has provided for me and for us in this business. But a lot of it came when I just made the decision, okay, this is my full-time gig. This is all I'm doing, and I'm just going to commit to it. I'm going to work hard and try and be the best that I can at it, and not anything else. So that's the advice that I would give. There's so many other things. You don't need to talk about lead generation or anything like that, or making calls. Just put in the hustle and just make it your thing, you know? So
I love it. Well, that's exactly the answer I was looking for. Clean, concise, and to the point. Because again, I've heard you ask that question as your co-host. I've heard it over and over, and I'm looking forward to seeing anybody that starts be able to talk to you and just glean from your knowledge like me. I've really enjoyed so far just picking your brain and just learning underneath you. So
well, I appreciate that. It's weird for me even hearing you say that because I don't feel on that level. I feel like, people like Mark, who I'm super excited to have him on the podcast next week.
Yeah.
People like Mark, every time I get together with him, I'm like, oh, and I got to ask him this and this and this and this. There's so many things that I feel like I don't know that I need to learn from him. But it's nice to have been down the road just a little bit. You know, like 2 years is not long in this business. That's really, really short. A lot of people are out of the business by 5 years, or by year 5 rather. So having said that, we're not out of the woods yet, but after 2 years and having done close to 50 transactions, been around the block a couple times, and that's one of my, I don't want to talk about our frustration with a couple of the deals that we have right now. But just
here, let me phrase it this way. So
you're basically the host on this one, and I'm the guest.
Yeah, more or less.
Go ahead.
So what would you say is your most difficult position or scenario or whatever? What would you say was the most difficult point so far for you in the past 2 years? Pretty much exactly 2 years that you've been in the business.
Oh my goodness, that's really hard. That's a tough question because you've seen in 3 months, you've seen at least, so we have 200 contract right now that have been really difficult. And then there was one under contract for clients that I was working with when you first moved here.
Yeah.
That was a very, very difficult one as well.
Mm-hmm.
And all three of these felt like, man, this is the worst transaction. But honestly, I think the most difficult position I've been in, I had a buyer who it was not her fault, but her lease ended while we were under contract. So she moved into the house that she was going to buy. And we ended up being under contract for close to 4 months. We passed the 90-day mark. And that one was absolutely terrible because she was living in the house. They were still trying to do wood rot repairs and things like that. And then the seller, as we started getting closer and closer to closing, he was like, basically, you pay me another $1,000 for this next week or $1,000 for the next extension you want, or your client is homeless. So what are you going to do? You know, you're asking me to extend it because the repairs aren't done. He was just a terrible, terrible human being.
Yeah.
So that was the worst transaction I've ever done. And I actually met that seller on the other side of the transaction. I met him and his realtor at the house, and I had a face-to-face conversation with him. And that's when he was basically like, give me what I want or your client is homeless.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate you right now. I really do not like you. So, I mean, but that's the bottom line is I have probably 10 stories like that.
Yeah.
That was the most extreme case just because she was in limbo for 3 months, hoping that the deal would close. By the time that one closed, man, I felt like partying for a week. I really did.
Yeah,
I felt
just
like just
taking it
celebrating. But when you're dealing with people, people are people, you know,
Yeah.
It is what it is. You just have to be able to manage that stress. And that's exactly what it is. It's just your capacity to manage stress will be the degree that you're successful in this business, I feel.
Well said. Well said.
And
I think you nailed that right on the head because I was going to kind of wrap up what you were saying, and then you just said, hey, I've got 10 stories like this, and here's the advice that I would give. Because anybody listening that is thinking about getting into it, which is probably going to be more our audience, is people interested in real
younger
estate.
friends that we have.
Yeah, more or less. That hits the nail on the head because it's one thing to hear somebody, oh, hey, how do you like real estate? And they tell you all the good, but there's that nugget of bad that you need to hear before you get into it.
Everybody asks, like, how do you get into real estate and make it, or at least survive, but also what shouldn't you do?
Yeah.
And what you shouldn't do is get into it expecting to make a boatload of money up front or to get by easy.
Yeah.
You know, it takes work and it takes...
Or that dealing with people will get easier.
Exactly. That's true because
you learn how to handle people.
You do. You
but
learn how to handle
easier.
people better. And I'm sure you learn, this is something that we have to work on, but you learn how to be more selective with your clients.
Yeah.
But you can't help the person on the other side of the transaction
No.
or the agent on the other side. So that's something, whenever I talk with people and tell them about real estate in the last 2 years of my life, it's been a lot of weekends spent stressing over deals and long days and clients calling me like, I want out of this deal, convince me not to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not what I thought it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you close and they move into their house and they're excited, then it feels good. And getting that check at closing feels good. I'm not going to just say it's all about the reward of helping people accomplish their dreams. When you get paid for your effort for the last month of your time, that feels really good.
Well, that you haven't seen a dollar of either,
exactly.
like you said.
That's the thing. And I think that's what people don't understand is it's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times people are dealt a disservice by people pretending that they love their job more than they do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a grind sometimes.
Well, and like Derek Bignell said in his episode with us, it's difficult getting into mortgages, getting into appraisals. All of that is difficult. But for anybody that's looking to get into it, here's the plus.
Willing to work hard.
Exactly. Here's the pros and cons, and here's what you will actually be looking at when you're getting into this business.
Yep, exactly.
So, well said.
And
that
was
my question.
Exactly. How good are you at looking down the road at the benefits?
Yeah.
Okay. And I actually saw one of my friends sent something to me today. It was like one of those slides on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should read it, but it was basically like your future self is going to look back on the problems and the uncomfortable conversations and pain that you're dealing with today, just on the day-to-day basis, like going for a run or let me read it. Cause it's basically like the difficult things that you're dealing with right now are nothing to your future self.
Mm-hmm.
They're just inconsequential.
As long as you're continuing to learn and grow, like we were talking about at the beginning.
Exactly.
You got to make sure that you're constantly improving.
Yep.
Because otherwise, I mean, you're going to end up in a loop, in a circle, just going round and round.
It's a quote.
Joseph called it the hamster ball, and
the
I thought that was the perfect
hamster wheel.
analogy.
Yeah. Yep. This is a quote from Robert Greene. Imagine yourself years in the future looking back at the work you have done. From that future vantage point, the time you devoted to the process won't seem painful or laborious at all. That's what it was. The time you devoted. That's the thing. It's tough working that extra hour or saying no to plans out or things like that, going out with friends or things. But the time you devoted to the process won't seem painful or laborious at all. It is an illusion of the present that will vanish with time.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful.
I like that.
It's a great.
I saw that and I was like, wow.
Great phrase. Wow.
Yeah. So shout out to Justin Kingsbury for sending me something inspirational rather than just a trashy meme, which he sends me plenty of those too.
Those are funny though. They have
yeah,
their place.
Agreed. They definitely have their place. So yeah, having said that, I just feel like the work and the time that you put in, it feels like a lot right now. But looking back on the last 2 years, I'm like, man, that's not even that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's a driver for us now. Okay, what are we shying away from today that we should be moving into so that we can look back and from the vantage point of the place where you have achieved your goals.
That's right.
What can we look back on and think, okay, I'm so glad I did that because it got me here and it actually wasn't as hard as I thought.
Yeah.
You know? So just getting uncomfortable and doing the things that you know you need to do.
That's right.
So, and now we're just spitting Instagram advice and
I mean,
just
advice
trite
probably
sayings.
Everybody's trite sayings, stuff that everybody's heard. I mean, it's applicable to every area of your life though. So if you take anything from the past 3-4 minutes that we've been talking, it's that just stay on that grind, stay consistent, and if anything, it's a reminder as you go into the new year.
A reminder. That's exactly right. I like that. And also keep us accountable.
Yeah,
keep us accountable to our goals and what we want to do, and make sure that we're working hard.
Yeah.
That's having a network of people who will slap you upside the head if you do something wrong. I like that. I like being accountable to people who will call me out.
Yeah,
if I do or say something out of line.
Challenge you.
That's
well
exactly
said.
right. So, well, what's your favorite part of the business so far?
Oh, I think I said this in our last episode.
I just realized that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can move on from that question, but I will say, like, as a heads up to our listeners, be on the lookout for our episodes because we're going to be doing this hopefully every month, every 5 weeks or so. That's the goal. So exactly 6 episodes now we did our episode together, and I was just looking at that today and I was like, that's exciting. It's crazy that we have kind of this cycle where it's like you and me every month we catch up together and we just
sit down and
discuss,
just evaluate
what we're up to and what we're learning.
Right. I like
just
that.
Just like this episode. So
this is cool. I enjoy this, and you and I communicate very well. So I feel like whenever we get on a train, we can actually finish it. So I do like that. Anyway, having said that, we got a lot to do this evening, so I'd say let's wrap it up for now.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
We will just peace out and see you guys in. Well, okay, if we do it once a month, how many episodes is that? 8 episodes?
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would be for 8
because we did it 6 episodes ago, and we took Christmas week off, which was 2 episodes. So yeah. So we'll see you in 8 episodes.
Fantastic.
Episode 32.
We'll see everybody on episode 32. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you had a happy new year and are looking forward to 2021.